let's turn Encanto characters into their opposites. Here's how the process is gonna work. We take a character like Olaf, find their 3 main attributes and key color, then we ask Craig to flip those to their opposites, and he prints the character as their opposite version. I also made a poster with all the opposite characters, and I'll slowly reveal it to you after each character. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna play you a trailer of Encanto, but with the opposite characters. You're gonna want to stick around for that. And without any further ado, let's begin. Starting with the character Isabella, the most flawless character in Encanto. Alright, Craig, what are Isabella's 3 main attributes and key color? So according to Craig, her first is perfectionist. Isabella strives to be flawless in everything, from growing vibrant flowers to maintaining her image as the golden child. Her second is elegant. With every move, she expresses grace and beauty like a living garden of perfection. Her third is creative. She discovers her true joy in breaking the mold, creating wild and untamed plants that reflect her unique spirit. And her superpower is the ability to grow flowers. And the color she's most seen in is purple. Okay, Craig. What is the opposite of perfectionist, elegant, creative, the ability to grow flowers, and the color purple? So Craig says the opposite of perfectionist is careless, the opposite of elegant is clumsy, and the opposite of creative is unimaginative. And the opposite superpower of the ability to grow flowers is the ability to kill flowers. And the opposite of purple is yellow. Okay, Craig, using these new attributes and key color, make us Isabella as her opposite. Wow, Craig, she looks a lot like the normal, launched out of my hand there. Okay, it looks a lot like the original Isabella, but with an evil tint to it. I honestly think this kind of freaks me out. Apparently, this is the opposite of Isabella. How would this version of Isabella affect the storyline of Encanto? Because Isabella is careless, she neglects her duties, and her ability to kill plants causes the family gardens to wither, straining her relationship with Abuela. Her clumsiness would lead to constant mishaps, with her powers accidentally destroying more than helping, embarrassing the madrigals in front of the community. Being unimaginative, she'd never discover the beauty of wild plants, leaving her stuck in mediocrity and unable to grow beyond her destructive abilities. Isabella? More like isn't Bella. That was a really bad joke, I'm sorry. She does look careless and slightly clumsy, but I'm not really getting the vibe that she's unimaginative. And like all the plants around her are dying, like they're all dead in the background. So honestly, her power is showing. She is wearing yellow, but it's not really hitting the other attributes as well as it could. Craig, for your first one of the day, I'm gonna rate it a 6.5 out of 10. Now let's add Isabella to the poster. Yeah, she doesn't look okay. The second one we're gonna do today is Abuela. Okay, Craig, what are the 3 main attributes and key color of Abuela? So according to Craig, her first is protective. She fiercely guards the miracle, ensuring her family and the community thrive under its magic. Her second is authoritative. Her words carry weight, shaping the rules and traditions of the Madrigal family. Her third is tradition-focused. Abuela sees the miracle as a responsibility, rooted in family history and unity. She doesn't have a superpower, so we'll just skip that step. And the color she's most seen in is purple. Okay, Craig, what is the opposite of protective, authoritative, tradition-focused, and the color purple? Craig says the opposite of protective is neglectful, the opposite of authoritative is passive, and the opposite of tradition-focused is spontaneous. And the opposite color of purple is yellow. Alright, Craig, can you turn Abuela into her opposite using these new attributes and key color? Her face looks really weird in this photo. Craig, can you tell us how this version of Abuela would change the storyline of Encanto? Because Abuela is neglectful, she would fail to notice the cracks forming in the house, allowing the miracle to fade without intervention, leading to the family falling apart sooner. Since she is passive, without her authoritative presence, the family would lack direction, and the responsibility for maintaining the miracle would go unfulfilled. With her being spontaneous, Abuela would make impulsive decisions, disrupting the careful balance of the Madrigal family's traditions and creating chaos in their day-to-day lives. She just looks kind of funny to me, honestly. I can see how she could be neglectful, passive, and spontaneous, but honestly, all I'm seeing right now is the need to laugh. Like, she looks like she just saw something that she wasn't supposed to see, and now she's like, oh. She is wearing yellow, though. Craig, for this one, I'm gonna give you a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to add her to the poster. I'm concerned at what she's looking at. What is she looking at to like need that gaze? Yep, she's creepy. Guys, the third one is my favorite, Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno, no. That's a really good song. Oh, Craigers, tell us the 3 main attributes and key color of Bruno Madrigal. His first one is mysterious. With his knack for disappearing and cryptic prophecies, Bruno is the most mysterious member. His second is insightful. His visions often reveal deeper truths, even if they aren't always what people want to hear. His third is misunderstood. While the family avoids talking to him, his love for them is unwavering, as he secretly helps behind the scenes. And his superpower is the ability to see into the future. And the color he's most seen in is green. Alright, Craig, what is the opposite of mysterious, insightful, misunderstood, the ability to see into the future, and the color green? Craig says that the opposite of mysterious is open, the opposite of insightful is oblivious, the opposite of misunderstood is appreciated, and the opposite of the ability to see the future is the ability to see the past. And the opposite of green is red. Craig, I have another one for you. Can you turn Bruno into his opposite using these new attributes and key color? This one is very interesting. Craig, how would this version of Bruno affect the storyline of Encanto? Because Bruno is open, he would freely share his insights into the past, leading to family disputes as old grievances and secrets are brought to light without consideration for the emotional impact. Since he's oblivious, Bruno would focus on uncovering irrelevant or trivial moments from the past, missing key details that could help the family understand and address their current struggles. With him being appreciated, the family might lean too heavily on his ability to recall the past, potentially stalling progress and reconciliation as they dwell on what was instead of moving forward. So I could definitely see some openness, like he would tell you anything. Oblivious, he definitely looks oblivious, like gullible. Appreciated, I can see how he could be appreciated. He has a nice robe on, I don't know. And he's holding like this weird red orb, so I guess that's how he like sees into the past. And he is wearing the color red. So I personally don't really like what Craig did to my favorite character, but it was pretty accurate. So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It's time to put him on the poster. He is actually very creepy. And for the fourth one today, it's Antonio, the guy who has my dream superpower, talking to animals. That'd be so cool. Craig, what are Antonio's 3 main attributes and key color? So according to Craig, his first one is curious. He dives into the magical world of animals with wonder and excitement, eager to learn about his gift. His second is kind-hearted. Antonio's gentle nature makes him a friend to every creature, big or small. His third is adventurous. Whether riding a jaguar or swinging through the trees, Antonio's spirit knows no bounds. And his superpower is the ability to communicate with animals. And the color he's most seen in is orange. Craig, what is the opposite of curious, kind-hearted, adventurous, the ability to communicate with animals, and the color orange? So Craig says that the opposite of curious is indifferent, the opposite of kind-hearted is harsh, the opposite of adventurous is fearful, its opposite superpower would be the ability to communicate with plants, and the opposite color of orange is blue. Craig, I have Antonio here, and I need you to turn him into his opposite using these new attributes and key color. Let's hope it turns out good. This is not the Antonio from the movie. He looks like worried. Craig, how would this version of Antonio affect the storyline of Encanto? Because Antonio is indifferent, Antonio's indifference to his gift of talking to plants leaves the family disconnected from nature. Plants grow unchecked, creating a chaotic and overgrown environment. Because he's harsh, Antonio's harsh attitude towards plants causes them to wilt or respond unpredictably. Because he is fearful, Antonio's fear of plants and his hesitance to use his gift leads to neglect. The once thriving environment surrounding the Madrigal home begins to wither and decay. So indifferent, I can see how he could be indifferent like a child, like any child is. Harsh, I don't know, he honestly kind of looks innocent. He doesn't really look harsh, but fearful, he definitely looks fearful. So there's like plants all around him, and he is wearing the color blue. Craig, for this one, I'm gonna give you a 7.5 out of 10. Now let's just add Antonio to the poster. Yeah, from this angle, he does look kind of scared. Moving on to the fifth character, Louisa. The character that is like made of steel because she's so buff and strong. Craig, what are Louisa's 3 main attributes and key color? So according to Craig, the first one is strong. She can lift mountains, literally, while carrying the emotional weight of family expectations. Her second one is dutiful. Always ready to help, Louisa takes on every challenge without hesitation to keep things running smoothly. Her third is vulnerable. Beneath her tough exterior, Louisa longs for moments of peace and freedom from pressure. And her superpower is superhuman strength. And the color she's most seen in is purple. Craig, what is the opposite of strong, dutiful, vulnerable, superhuman strength, and the color purple? Craig says that the opposite of strong is weak, the opposite of dutiful is irresponsible, the opposite of vulnerable is resilient, and the opposite of superhuman strength is superhuman wisdom, and the opposite of purple is yellow. I have Louisa here, Craig, and I need you to turn her into her opposite using these new attributes and key color. The opposite version of Louisa looks like she could eat me. She's very scary. Craig, how would this version of Louisa affect the storyline of Encanto? Because Louisa is weak, she relies on her superhuman wisdom instead of strength, forcing the family to share burdens. Since she's irresponsible, her careless use of wisdom causes unintended problems. With her being resilient, she becomes emotionally detached, using wisdom to shield herself. So she does not look weak at all. Irresponsible, yeah, I can see how she could be a bit irresponsible. Resilient, yeah, she's just sitting alone in the dark, and she is wearing the color yellow, so that's pretty good. For this one, Craig, I'm gonna give you a 7 out of 10. Now, onto the poster she goes. Yep, she's giving me the creeps, for real. And the final character, another one of my favorites, is Mirabel. I like her because she's kind of awkward, like me. Craig, what are Mirabel's 3 main attributes and key color? So according to Craig, her first is relatable. Mirabel struggles with feeling ordinary, and a family of extraordinary gifts makes her journey deeply heartfelt. Her second is compassionate. She is the glue that holds her family together, always seeking to understand and uplift them. And her third is determined. No matter the odds, Mirabel never stops fighting to uncover the truth and save the miracle. And her superpower is the ability to unite her family through love and support. And the color she's most seen in is teal. Okay, Craig, what is the opposite of relatable, compassionate, determined, the ability to unite her family through love and support, and the color teal? So according to Craig, the opposite of relatable is unrelatable, the opposite of compassionate is cold, and the opposite of determined is defeated. And the opposite of the ability to unite her family through love and support is the ability to create division and conflict in her family. And the opposite of teal is blood orange. Craig, I have one more for you. Can you turn Mirabel into her opposite using these new attributes and key color? Okay, so this is Mirabel as her opposite version, and honestly, it does look like her opposite. We're starting off strong, Craig. How would this version of Mirabel affect the storyline of Encanto? Because Mirabel is unrelatable, she wouldn't connect with her family, leaving the cracks to worsen unchecked. Since she's cold, without her warmth and compassion, Mirabel would alienate her family. With her being defeated, Mirabel would give up on saving the miracle, leaving the family and their magic to fall apart entirely. Unrelatable, I can see her, she's just like all alone. She's not relating with anybody. Cold, she definitely looks cold. Her arms are crossed. She does not look approachable. Defeated, I can see how she could give up so easily. So yeah. And it does look like she would separate her family instead of unite them. So I definitely see that. I'm pretty sure blood orange is just red orange. So I think Craig got it pretty well. For this one, Craig, I'm gonna give you a 9 out of 10. Okay guys, let's finish the poster. There it is, Mirabel totally completes the poster. It honestly looks really nice. Now, here is the trailer for Encanto, Opposites.
What if everything you loved about the madrigals was reversed? The perfectionist becomes careless. The protector becomes neglectful. The mysterious becomes oblivious. The curious becomes fearful. The strong becomes weak. The heart of the family becomes divided. Can the madrigals overcome their darkest selves? Encanto, Opposites.